Good afternoon, everybody. Live from the Findlay Hancock County Chamber of Commerce. I'm Doug Jenkins. Happy to have you with us as we celebrate member anniversaries. Joining us, Eli and Craig from the Old Fort Banking Company, now 15-year members of the Chamber of Commerce. Guys, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
So I always I like the story of businesses in Findlay and Hancock County and how businesses and banks and everybody just came to be where they are, how it all came together. How did Old Fort Banking Company come to be in Findlay?
Well, it's not really a long story, but Mike Sprague obviously is our president, chairman, CEO. Been in Findlay for many years. Had the opportunity to join Old Fort Banking Company, which, by the way, started in 1916. And Findlay has always been a strong community, good market for banking, and decided to open a branch in the Findlay market. So they started a loan production office in 2007, and then they built the facility we have here out on County Road 236 in May of 2008 is when they broke ground.
Yeah, it's really part of that eastward expansion that we've seen, and you've certainly seen that area develop around you as it's been there. And of course, you probably eat well all right with the Buffalo Wild Wings right behind you, and City Barbecue right across the street too.
They're both good neighbors, and City Barbecue is wonderful. And I'm going to put a plug in for Chick-fil-A. They're wonderful too.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
So, well, we'll allow it. We'll certainly allow it. What made it appealing to you guys then to be a part of the Findlay operations here?
Well, I guess for me, I worked at a large regional bank. Great opportunity. Learned a lot. Got out of banking for 6 years or so. Decided to get back into banking, and I really kind of wanted to be in a community bank, and had the opportunity to come to Old Fort, and so I took advantage of that.
Eli, same question for you.
Yeah, for me, I started at the bank as an intern in college. I was a college student just looking for something to occupy my time, but also get experience.
Right.
Joined the bank, was a teller in the summer, and then joined our credit department. And from there, I just have progressed into the position I'm in today. I'm a mortgage lender here at the bank. And I enjoyed the atmosphere. I enjoy working with all our employees, and it's rewarding being in such a small, tight-knit company that we are. So.
You mentioned you're on the mortgage side of things, but it's full service bank, everything from your typical checking and savings accounts on up. Are there any specialties that you have that people should know about?
Well, yeah, there are a few. One I'll touch on just because you mentioned mortgage lending. That's obviously what I do. We do have a program we have every year called Welcome Home. It's a $10,000 grant to be used for closing costs and down payment. There's no strings attached to it. We work with the Federal Home Loan Bank of Cincinnati to offer this program. Funds are limited. Each year it opens in March. This year, however, we've got two windows. We had one in March, and then now we have one in July, first week of July. So it's a really good grant to be used for down payment, and everyone can use a little assistance in buying homes these days, as it's getting ever harder now. So.
That's a very cool program, especially these days with the interest rate. Of course, historically, the interest rates are still well below what they would have been in the 80s or even the 90s, just maybe a little bit higher than what we've seen over the last 10 years or so.
That's correct. We've been kind of spoiled the last 10 years, really, with interest rates being so low. You are correct. I mean, the average interest rate, really, we're kind of at that historical average. I think you'll see some prices maybe level off, and that'll should, in theory, help people be able to move and become a first-time home buyer.
Craig, you mentioned that when the bank came to Findlay, obviously Findlay was a strong community to do business in. And when you get involved in Findlay, you tend to give back to Findlay, is what we see with local businesses. What are the ways that Old Fort Banking Company likes to get involved with the community here?
Well, Doug, we've been involved. I mean, our associates have been involved off and on, not only in the Findlay community, but other communities as well. And everything with the chamber, economic development, Humane Society, Findlay Area Golf Association. Every year the bank gives a scholarship to a graduating high school senior going to University of Findlay, Heidelberg, or Tiffin. And we have associates that are involved in a lot of other, I guess, personal activities that they do in the community.
You mentioned your involvement with the chamber. We certainly appreciate it. And Craig, I did not have time, but I wanted to queue up video from the Small Business Award videos that we do each and every year. I didn't have time to do it to show during this. I really wanted to, because we certainly appreciate everything you do for those. For those who are watching and maybe haven't been to the Small Business Awards, we do video skits before awards every year. We've been fortunate enough to have Old Fort Banking Company take part in that, and Craig allows us to just have a good time. He loves the camera, and the camera loves him. Is how I understand it.
Thank you for mentioning that. I appreciate that.
and yeah, again, I wish I had time to put more video to that, because that would have been fun and would have caught you off guard too, Craig, which I'm sure you would have loved that surprise.
I'm certainly disappointed, and if you look closely enough, you can see a tear welling up in my eye.
If people want to learn more about Old Fort Banking Company, whether they're looking to start an account, maybe they want to, they're thinking about buying a home, so they need information on a mortgage, or really just anything else, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
I think the easiest way, probably, if they just want to go to the website, oldfortbank.com, it lists all of our products and services, depending on what market you're in. It has the contact information, email, phone number, addresses for all of our 10 locations. And that's probably the easiest way.
And I guess, as we learned during this interview today, we might just run into a Chick-fil-A as well.
Exactly. And bring something along. That's fine.
There you go. Grab a lemonade and a sandwich, and you can talk some banking there. So, well,
Absolutely.
guys, we really appreciate your time today. We appreciate you being a Chamber of Commerce member for 15 years now. Thank you so much for everything you do for the community.
Thanks. Appreciate
Doug.
the opportunity, Doug.
Appreciate it.
And that'll do it for our live videos today. We still have plenty more coming this week. We have ribbon cuttings coming up tomorrow afternoon, as well as Friday morning, and a whole lot more. If you're curious about what's happening here at the Chamber of Commerce, or just in the local business community altogether, make sure you're following us on LinkedIn, on Facebook, as well as our YouTube channel, and you'll always be up to date. For Eli and Craig, I'm Doug Jenkins. Thanks for joining us, everyone.